So to give a little bit about myself, I was born in the Philippines and lived there for most of my life until I was about 12 years old. And though I was merely a child, I knew enough to see the degree of corruption there, especially in politics. I remember hearing about barangay captains using bribery to get ahead or even resorting to violence to assure victory. This corruption ultimately reflects in the way that people live there. Corruption leads to non-deserving leaders being elected, which in the end prevents the advancement of our people and our country. I was able to escape that cycle of corruption and poverty when I came here. But I think that it is still very important to be aware of these political issues, both here and in the Philippines. As future professionals, we are the ones who have the potential to influence change. But we cannot do this if we ourselves don't know or even care about these issues. Knowing that political advancement is one of FASA's 4 pillars, I know that this position is critical to this organization. And I know that it will also be challenging because from what I've heard in the past, our organization and Filipinos in general are being criticized for not being politically active enough. So as political chair, it will be my responsibility, if given the chance, to represent FASA and the Filipino community on and off campus in political discussions and make sure that our interests are heard. Getting peers to care will be the hardest part. What I want to do is spread awareness about issues that are relevant to us in the local, international, and global level. Let that new knowledge spark new ideas that will turn into actions. But how? When most of the time, us young people, it is hard for us to get into conversations about politics because we don't even understand politics most of the time. Well, let me tell you about my vision. To make sure that my peers become interested in issues, I will focus on ones that are relevant to us and stress the idea that these issues do hit home to you and your family. As a Filipino, as a minority, as a person of color, as a human being, as a student. And to get over the barrier of peers not being able to relate or understand politics, I want to utilize a tool that everyone can relate to regardless of age, sex, gender, ethnicity, race, or anything else, which is art. If given the chance to be your political chair, my main focus will be activism through art. As Filipinos, this is one of the things that our culture is known for. We are talented and artistic individuals, so why not capitalize on this to improve on an area that we are criticized in? Thank you for listening. Once again, Sunshine for Political Chair.
Also for Political Chair, we have Louie Vital.
Hi everyone, how are you? Good. Wonderful. All right. Good evening, my name is Louie, and I am running for Political Chair. So with my academic knowledge in political science and the knowledge I gained from studying abroad in the Philippines, I have a solid understanding of the injustices that we face as Filipino Americans. I think about this stuff all the time, and I'm not kidding when I say this stuff keeps me up at night. In fact, I actually have a separate journal titled Thoughts of a Filipino American, dedicated to all the things that I think about on a daily basis. And I want to talk about these political issues. And as a community, we need to talk about these political issues. And what a better place to do this than FASA? With this office, I plan to take a philosophically academic approach to the political chair. As political chair, I have 3 goals. The first is understanding the intersectionality of our identities. Second is inspiring dialogue in a safe space. And 3 is creating a politically aware community. I hope to achieve these goals by constructing presentations and facilitating discussions at every general meeting. Knowing that there are 15 general meetings in a school year, I've decided on 18 different topics that are relevant to our identity. Some of the topics include the mistreatment of overseas Filipino workers, colonial mentality, exploitation of tourism, Southeast Asian military agreements, and ethno-linguistic hegemony, but the list goes on. I imagine this as a 5-minute presentation at general meetings and then a 5-minute discussion, so it's not like I'm just talking at you. This is supposed to be engaged, and I want to hear from everyone. And for the more personal, more sensitive topics, I would want to lead a workshop in a more intimate space that's conducive to dialogue. But then again, this list is not static.
It's evolving because I want to know what you care about politically. So FASA, I hope you believe me when I say that I care about these issues. I care with my entire being, and it's what I stand for. I take this very seriously. Of course, I don't have all the political knowledge in the world, but I'm excited to grow and to learn with you all. So please consider me as your next political chair. I'm excited to take FASA to the next level and become a politically active community. Thank you.
Essentially, you can come up and there'll be 6 minutes of question and answer for political chair candidates.
Yes. Danielle.
So I have a question for Louie. So you're already very busy and you have a lot on your plate even for next year. So how will you ensure that none of that gets in the way of your commitment to FASA and to serving the community with political chair?
Sure thing. Actually, next year I'm a lot less busy. I'm quitting my RA job. I'm already done with my first major and my minor, so I have a lot more free time. FASA comes first, after academics, of course, but I've been able to manage the past 3 years juggling multiple leadership positions, and I can safely say that I have the ability to balance these time commitments.
Yes, you done?
Do you guys know who Mary Jane Veloso is and what her situation and what your thoughts about that situation?
Unfortunately, I'm not aware of who that is.
Yeah. I am as well not aware about who she is, but again, I'm very willing to learn about all these political issues and all these people that are important in our community. Yes, sir?
Go ahead, brother.
Thanks, third. So this is a question for both of you. So you talked about how it's hard for members and for youth in general to care about political issues. So what are specific plans or goals that you have if you feel that at the beginning of the year the political climate in FASA is not very strong? How will you get members to actually listen to you and care about what you're saying?
So, like I said in my speech, this is a very hard, this is, I think, one of the main barriers of being a political chair, is that it's hard to get people to care about political things because we are young people, you know, and in general, we don't consider political issues as, like, one of our priorities. And so, like I mentioned in my speech, I want to be able to make these issues relatable to us young people by using art. Because that's one thing that we really utilize, and it's a part of our identity. So yeah, with that, as far as what that looks like specifically, I want to be able to connect with local Filipino artists as well as local Filipino organizations that are known for being politically active, and hopefully making a merge of that. And then as far as like on a minute detail, what I want to do is, like she said, also do political quarters, because I think that you did a phenomenal job with that this quarter. And but I want to be able to pick issues that do relate to us and we do care about. And then in the next meeting, present like an art or anything really, like a presentation or like a performance by a member, an outside organization person, or another person from another club that was inspired by that said issue. Can you repeat the question, Danielle, please?
No, we had the same question. She just said it a little nicer. But if you guys are like, obviously only one of you guys going to be the chair, what would your involvement be after this election? I mean, would you still be involved, or are you just like, that's it?
Sorry, what was your question?
Would you still be involved after the election, particularly if one of you didn't make the chair?
Of course, I mean, I love FASA. No matter what, I'm still coming to every single thing. I'm still going to be here.
Yes, definitely. Not just like in FASA, but one of the reasons why I actually ran for this position is because I want to make an effort to make myself more politically active. So just because I don't get this position if that happens, I want to be able to still engage myself as if I won the position. That means like trying to be in student senate and trying to be a part of staff, communicating with enough buy-in and stuff like that. Any other questions?
Can I answer Danielle's question from before? So Daniel, were you asking about how we're able to make the members more excited about this? Was that your question?
Yeah, and like how you will get them to care and listen about the really heavy political issues that you will address.
Sure. So I talked about the 18 different topics that I have thought of as really important issues. And just because, of course, I'll have a feel for the political climate, but even if I feel like the members are not feeling it, I don't want to ignore it, because we still need to talk about this. I see my job as political chair as aggregating the knowledge that I already have and channeling it in a way that is relevant to you and for you to understand, in a way that's sensitive, but also recognizes the fact that we need to talk about this.
What's a political issue that you, when you first talked about it, you felt uncomfortable?
I think that it's always very uncomfortable for me to talk about like being gay, because there's a conflict, right? Because of this intersectionality that we all have. I have a conflict with my religion, but at the same time, myself is telling me that like, oh, that's okay. So there's always going to be that conflict for me for talking about being gay, but at the same time, I know that our culture in general is also very polar when it comes to this, because Philippines is a very religious country. So half of us is saying that's not okay. But at the same time, when you go to the Philippines, you see a lot of gay people. So yeah, that subject for me is very touchy.
When I first started learning about colonial mentality, when I studied abroad with third, it was an uncomfortable situation for me, especially being the only Asian woman in my graduating class. After learning about it, I realized all that I had done to myself in order to throw away my Asianness, to throw away the fact that I was Filipino, so that I could become American and become accepted. But looking at it, not just reflecting on my own life, but really dissecting it academically, I've been able to actually think about it on a different level. I like to talk about it now, so I'm here.
That's all the time we have. Thank you.